Hello, welcome back to another movie review. As always, I'm Kelly, and I just got out of Nobody. And if you were to tell me right now, dead face, that this movie's script was originally just one of the drafts of John Wick, I'd believe it in a heartbeat. This is so much in that vein of John Wick that it borders on copyright, if not for the fact that they were obviously ripping off Red, too. That's actually probably the perfect way to describe this movie. It's the perfect hybridization of John Wick and Red. And unfortunately, I don't think it rises to the level of either of those movies. Red was definitely a lot of stupid fun, but it was just that, fun. John Wick has a style to it. It's got more than just guy getting revenge against bad gangsters. This, though, is honestly kind of just too generic. It's got great action, and I can say that the lead is just killing it. I want to see him in more action movies. Please, for the love of God, put more Bob Odenkirk in action movies, because this man and his stunt crew, they made this amazing work in a mediocre movie. Please, somebody put that in a good movie. But even with those positives, I can't necessarily say that this was anything more than it exists. Yeah, I imagine this is going to be a pretty short review. If you don't want spoilers, because from here on out I'm just going to be pretty much going into spoilers and you just want my final thoughts, skip to here. But yeah, you can probably already guess what I'm going to give it. As always, starting with the good, the best thing, bar none, in this movie is Bob Odenkirk. Now, most people, including myself, only really know this actor from Better Call Saul, and he kills it in the drama department. Like, this man knows how to do his drama. So taking that and moving him into an action movie doesn't seem like a great idea, especially when you're telling me that he's going to be the badass that just beats everyone down. It sounds like a recipe for disaster, but I don't know if he went through a bunch of training or if he's just secretly really good at this, but this man knows how to do his action. Probably even more so than most action hero stars, because those movies, they never liked showing weakness. This movie, he gets beat up as much as he does the beating out. He just believably gets up from everything. And what I mean believably, I mean he staggers. You can tell that he slips up sometimes. Not everything is a perfectly clean hit, but he makes it work. Going back to the John Wick comparison, Keanu Reeves in that one sometimes feels like he's on God mode, where he's just popping heads, he's taking punches. You can still see tactics in his fight. You can definitely see a lot more if you dig into it. It's a stuntman's paradise in those John Wick films. Here in Nobody, though, I can definitely say that they're trying to metaphorically turn the difficulty up to medium, versus in John Wick, where it really feels like it's on easy sometimes. Two different philosophies, neither one's good or bad. However, I will say that way too often we get the easy mode, and I would really like to see the medium or hard modes done a lot more often. Please put this type of action and even Bob Odenkirk into a better movie, please. Now, I don't want to make it sound like that was the only thing this movie does good, because it does have a lot of really enjoyable elements here. I just don't think they're fully, I guess you would say, expanded upon. You've got Christopher Lloyd playing Odenkirk's dad inside of this, and he's just as gun-hungry as everybody else. Again, kind of going back to Red, he's more or less the same role that Morgan Freeman played in that movie. And there's a lot of fun to have with that idea, especially this third act where they do just go all out and have a big old bloodbath, and Christopher Lloyd even gets the dual-wield shotguns at the end. I mean, it gets kind of crazy, and it is enjoyable, but unfortunately this has to dive into our negative section, because the thing that's holding this good idea and elements back are really the villains here, who are just the most generic Russians you've ever seen in your life. They try to make this bad guy out to be a lot more than he really is by giving him quirks like singing karaoke and crap. But unless you're going to go full Yakuza game series with that kind of thing, it's just annoying, and you can tell pretty transparently what you're trying to do. And again, I have to bring it back to the comparisons to John Wick. Again, we're doing Russians. And if you told me that this was a spec script for John Wick, the first draft, I'd believe it, because That's what it feels like. Half-baked John Wick ideas. And if you look at the writer for this movie, it's the guy who wrote John Wick. I'm not just bringing this comparison up because, it's the first thing that I compare it to. I'm bringing it up because it really does feel like this guy's just reusing the same ideas. And I feel that this movie would be a lot better if instead of Russians, you went with, say, Yakuza, and just went full Yakuza game series and had them just be this crazy, over-the-top, completely unstable group of people juxtaposed to this calm, orderly, just completely normal, almost painfully normal setup that Bob Odenkirk's life has been in. I feel that the heavier contrast there would have made the movie much more engaging as a whole, but unfortunately they make these guys to be just standard, very realistic Russians, but their boss likes to sing karaoke. Oh, and kill people if they don't like his one black manservant. And the one other thing that I feel that drags this movie down is that, again, comparing it to John Wick, because I guess we have to, John Wick didn't start the events. The guys broke into his house and killed his dog. Here, though, Bob Odenkirk was looking for a reason to just beat the living shit out of people, and these people who just walked in onto the same bus as him were just there. He is as much the bad guy in this situation as our actual bad guy, and I feel that that is undercutting it. If these Russian assholes who had gotten on the bus actually started attacking and harassing the people that were on it, especially the girl they clearly were trying to oogle at, I feel that that would have been a much better, breaking snap point to get this going. If not, then you should have had these guys be longtime rivals seeking out the Auditor, as he's called, so that they can get revenge. That would have been a much better, cleaner way of doing this, and I feel that would alleviate this bug that I have, because this whole situation is caused by Bob Odenkirk and his painfully normal lifestyle juxtaposed to his what he wants. He wants the action. He wants to do something. And then he causes this, which ultimately gets his family shot at, causes him a lot of physical damage, and pretty much blows up his entire dream job factory that he bought. The nobody feels more like a villain than the actual villain. And I don't know if I like that. Unfortunately, that kind of just sums up my whole thoughts on the movie, too. It really has good ideas, but they're being dragged down by just small things here or there. Things that I have seen done better more recently in other films by this same writer. And while I'll say it's not devoid of any good ideas, it doesn't really fully utilize them. There's a lot of really good action here. There's a really goddamn good performance inside of here. But ultimately, I can't say that it was a good movie. So with all that said, my personal final verdict on this one is wait for Redbox or Netflix. It isn't worth ignoring outright, but I see no reason why you should go to the theaters and pay to go see this. It would have probably done better if it were direct to DVD, in my honest opinion. It has good ideas. It has really fun action. But I'm sorry, the story and the villains are just so weak and generic and done to death at this point. I can't say that it's worth spending your money in theaters on. But once it comes to Netflix or Redbox or any of your other streaming services, absolutely check it out. I do recommend it for at least a one-time watch. And that's it for me. Did you enjoy the video? Have you seen Nobody? Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Let's get some healthy discussion going. And as always, if you like what you saw, be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that stuff that helps channels grow so that one day I might be able to do this for a living. Also, if you like what you saw, I stream on this channel every Thursday night. I've also been streaming a lot more on my Twitch channel. Links in the description below. And yeah, that's it for me. So I'll see you guys next time.